it up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
Don't let that team stand away. He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Graham Rucker for the touchdown. Graham shoots it high on the right for 3.
Yes! This is the Buckeye Show.
Presented by Schottenstein Roofing. For top quality and a price match guarantee, visit SchottensteinRoofing.com.
Indeed, it is the Buckeye Show. I am Tito. To my right, the doctor, DeVier Posey. Jacob back there running things for us tonight here until 8 o'clock. Then we've got Western Conference basketball, Game 5, Mavericks and Timberwolves. DeVier, how are you today, my friend?
I'm doing awesome. What's up, Columbus? Beautiful day. Beautiful weekend ahead. Tito, I get to spend 2 hours with you. What complaints can I have?
It's a start. 2 hours today, 2 hours tomorrow, 3 hours on Sunday. Looking forward to all of that. So I want to start off the show today, and it's the 13-year anniversary of when Jim Tressel resigned as head coach at Ohio State. And I've said all along that other than Woody Hayes, he's the most important head coaching hire in football history for Ohio State, which, I mean, you know, that you can't really say. There's not like there's a lot of guys out there to compare him against, but he brought Ohio State back to where they were dominating Michigan, competing for national championships, and avoiding silly losses. And everything went on with that. And I never asked you this before, but obviously you were on the team with the team at the time, on the center of all of that. And I'm curious, when you found out Tressel was going to resign, and what your thoughts were when you heard that.
Oh, man, I'm screwed.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I was already in trouble, and I was like the one guy that was here helping me. He's out. But, in all seriousness, super sad day for Ohio State faithful. I know a lot of fans, you know how we can be as Buckeye fans. You know, we envision Ohio State to always win and Ohio State to be a certain way. And, you know, I felt like, you know, when that stuff happened, you know, right now it's laughable with the NIL stuff. But when you think about, you know, Tress leaving, there were a few people on the Buckeye side that were kind of happy, you know, and there was a lot of people who were upset. But no one more important to me in my football career at that time in my life than Jimmy T. You know, and what he meant to me in my career, and also just what Ohio State meant to him as a person. You know, grew up in Cleveland, you know, at Baldwin Wallace, Youngstown. Always loved Ohio State. Served here as a assistant coach, GA. Worked his way up, you know, and this was his dream job. And to be able to be here and play in the games and coach the games that he coached in, and for me to be able to play for him, man, it was a super, super sad day. But, you know, those were the times. And now it'll be a probably 11 Warriors article about the NIL deals that Tress had set up.
Yeah.
Know? But it's just one of those things, man. Love Coach T, man. He left me with a lot of life lessons in those last couple months.
Did you have any, like, conversations right after he resigned, or did you have any, like, moments with him where you talked about things like about the resignation and everything?
I mean, not in particular resignation, but just, you know, that's the thing with Tressel. When he's going through something, he's always going to forever be the teacher that he is and the mentor that he is and the figure that he is. He's always going to take the high road. And that was something he taught me, you know, like, hey, man, always take the high road no matter what you're doing in life. It always pays off later. And, you know, sometime after that, I got drafted to Houston, and he was with the Colts. And we played in Indianapolis early in that season, my rookie year. And Tress said, he texted me and was like, hey, can you get me tickets? I was like, what? Like, you work for the Colts,
right?
And he was like, you know what? You're right. I'll get tickets. And so he got tickets, and he told me to have my mom sit with him. So, like, he sat in the stands at the game with my mom.
Wow.
When the Texans played the Colts my rookie year. That's just the kind of guy he is, man.
Yeah.
You know, man, he's solid all the way around, grounded, rooted, never changed on his character, never saw him out of character. And that's the thing I love about him, man. And that's one thing, like, I always try to, like, embody is that stoicism that he has, right? Like, it's so real.
I've never heard a negative word about him from people that know him. You know, the people that he coached or mentored. I've never heard a negative word about Tress.
Yeah, no, you won't hear much. You won't hear much about him, man. He's like I said, man, stoic dude through adversity.
Right.
Stoic dude. He'll take a lot of loads on the shoulders in terms of, losses, and the wins are all about the players and the other coaches. So it's one thing I love about him.
When he got hired, when he first got hired, I thought, what the hell are they doing? This guy coached Youngstown State. He's going to come coach Ohio State. Because I remember we talked about yesterday with Bodie on the show about when, and it's not the same thing, but when Notre Dame hired Jerry Faust as a high school coach out of Cincinnati Moeller.
Yeah.
And I was like, this
Moeller teams were good, though. When you said that, I thought about Jerry Faust. I was like, man, he has some.
Oh, they had a lot of undefeated seasons and great teams and Catholic school, and he had everything right as far as that goes to get the job. Mm-hmm. And when Tressel first got hired, that's the thought I had. Some of the guys like Glenn Mason who had success at Kansas and some success at Minnesota. There were other guys that they talked to. I want to say Mike Bellotti might have been one of them also, if that's the name coming to my head. But anyway, they had bigger name coaches that they had talked to about the job.
Yeah.
And they hire him, and I remember thinking, oh, this isn't going to work out. What the hell are they doing? And then he makes the speech at the shot, when we're proud of our young men, in the community, in the classroom, and I think it was 314 days in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And then he sold me. Right then and there when he said, this guy gets it. This guy gets it.
Yeah.
And he had so much success here at Ohio State, brought back Ohio State from the dead in the rivalry after all those heartbreaking losses in the 80s and 90s, and brought him back in this Ohio State-Michigan thing and had Ohio State competing and then winning, obviously, but competing also for national championships on a consistent basis.
Yeah. I mean, I think about that LSU game all the time, that Florida game.
Yeah.
It's the game plan he had planned. I kind of, went down the drain when Ted went down. And just, that Florida State game. But, for Tressel, it was always about every single day preparing for Michigan.
Yeah.
Every single day, what kind of person are you? Are you getting better as a person? He had this Blocko of life thing. And I think that that was something that really made me want to commit here, was that he cared about what I wanted to do after football. He cared about what I was doing in the community. He cared about how I was teaching. I was going to go to class, but how am I treating my teachers? Am I forming relationships? Am I seeking the extra help? Am I giving the same effort on all phases of my life with my family, with this person, with that person? And I think that in your college years helps form you into the type of man you're going to always be. And you kind of see that with his players, all the guys that kind of play for him. Not saying anything about Herb's players or Dave's players or Coach players, but
that was your guy.
I think us Tressel guys are a lot more well-rounded.
Take that, Cardale. So when it comes to, you said it kind of in passing, but that was your guy, the guy who was going to bat for you, the guy that had your back through all that. Was he the only one who was really the advocate for you?
No. I got a lot of love for Luke Fickell, man. I know he gets a bad rap for that season, but he was thrusted into
it was a no-win situation. Yes, it was a fractured season.
And for him, he was like, I'll do it, because he loved Ohio State. And the thing I love about Fickell, leading up to that, the offense would always go against the defense, and Fickell would get in. Fickell wasn't that much older than us,
right?
So you would be like, man, I don't know if I like Luke Fickell. But when you talk about molding players, developing talent, man, Luke Fickell is second to none in terms of the guys he's coached.
Yeah,
it's absolutely crazy when you really think about it. You can go from Shazier to Bobby Carpenter, AJ Carpenter. Laurinaitis. He develops talent. And I remember going through my suspension and Luke always just being like, hey, man, I know what your goal is. Stay focused, go to class, graduate. There's going to be a lot of NFL scouts here today. Make sure you ball out in practice. You're going to run with the twos today. And that was stuff he didn't have to do. I wasn't supposed to be playing. So he wanted to make sure I was still able to reach my goals. And I always love him for that, man, and just being solid and always communicating with me, making sure I was staying on my path for my goals. And then when he was in Cincinnati and I was down, I always go back home and visit my mom. I would always go say what's up to him.
Yeah.
And he would always open the doors and it would always just be like, it was yesterday. So, I love that about Fickell, man. He's a good dude.
Good dude. And Tressel, it was a tough day for Ohio State when he retired, but mad respect for that guy and how he brought the program back to where it needed to be. And it really set it up for where it's at now. Like he put the building blocks there that helped Ohio State to get the success they have now on this consistent basis. And it was too bad to see him resign like that. But yeah, 13 years ago today that happened back in 2011. The Fan's now on YouTube. You can watch your favorite shows live. Check out the videos and YouTube shorts. How do you find us? Head to YouTube, search 97.1 The Fan, and don't forget to subscribe to The Fan's new YouTube channel. We got a big show lined up for you today. The Styles brothers were in here today in Morning Juice, whereas, Ed Latham Ransom yesterday was in there. Today was both the Styles, and we're going to hear from them what they had to say. We also have our Beers and Buckeyes with our guy Patrick Murphy. We'll do that. One of the Power 4 schools is Power Score conferences. I'm sorry, Power Conferences is trying to be a little crafty about something. We'll go through the College Football Pulse. Is James Franklin in hot water? We'll talk about that as well. But coming up next, like I said, the Styles brothers were here today. Earlier on Morning Juice, we will hear what they had to say. We'll do that next. It's the Buckeye Show, 97.1 The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Libman makes a difference. The Libman Mock Crew is a part of our winning team. The Libman Mock Crew makes sure the hardwood is safe and clean for the players every game at the Schottenstein Center. No matter what kind of flooring you have at your home court, Libman has the tools to keep it clean. Our mops, brooms, and brushes are proudly family made in the USA. Visit Libman.com to see our whole lineup and for a store locator. That's Libman.com. Libman, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Did the pandemic eliminate quality customer service? Well, many places it did, but not here at Heartland Bank. Imagine getting top quality service and good advice as well to help you down life's road. It's community banking, and it's alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb, CEO. Coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Fair banking feels good. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Kroger always gives you savings and rewards on top of our lower-than-low prices. And when you download the Kroger app, you can enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. And with a Boost membership, you'll save even more with double fuel points and free delivery. So you can always save big every day with our savings and rewards. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
And now we're on our way with COTA, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Whether it's game day or every day, COTA moves Buckeyes fans down the line toward victory. Download the Transit app today for an easy way to plan and pay for your next trip. Visit COTA.com/transit app to learn more.
Hi, I'm Gene Smith, Senior Vice President and Director of Athletics. Ohio State Athletics and Cardinal Health know how important diversity, equity, and inclusion are to the success of our community, employees, and student athletes. And we believe an equitable culture creates a community that attracts and retains the very best. Visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Buckeye-inclusion to learn more and join us as we educate and celebrate the value of diversity and inclusion.
If you're obsessed with fantasy sports and gambling things, we have the slightly above average radio show for you. On the Money with Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas.
Presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
Sunday morning at 9 on The Fan.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy on it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding. Over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Proper tree care is an investment that can lead to substantial returns and increased personal enjoyment. Hiring a certified arborist can help care for your trees and add considerable value to your property. Inspections by Ohio ISA certified arborists can often find and mitigate tree defects before they fail. Only professionals with specialized knowledge and training are properly equipped to provide appropriate care. To find an arborist, visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Plenty of sunshine, light winds, and pleasant on this Thursday. Temperatures around 70 degrees. Overnight will cool down to the mid-40s once again under clear skies and light winds. During the day on Friday, a perfect finish. Temperatures in the mid-70s with plenty of sunshine from start to finish. With your Doppler 10 forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
The best sports talk in the Big Ten lives right here. Now back to the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Buckeye Show, Tito and DeVier. Jacob, what do you think? Thank you so much for taking time with us this evening here till 8 o'clock. And those guys, the Morning Juice Man, Carpenter, those guys, he's knocking out of the park, getting the Buckeyes in here in the mornings. Bobby got Latham in here yesterday. And then today, Lorenzo and Sonny Stiles stopped by for a visit. They were here, and they've got a really cool thing going on. I'll talk about this first, but the Huckleberry House. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not, DeVier, but
no, I'm not.
They're doing a thing. It's the big event tomorrow night. It's called the Sleep Out, where they're going to gather and sleep at lower.com field. And they've been trying to raise money, helping people out because of the homelessness problem for people. And it's been something very near and dear to their hearts, they said, because their family's been involved with it since it opened in 1970. It's helping people who are experiencing homelessness in Columbus, Ohio. They said, according to their records, around 3,000 young people per year experience homelessness here in Columbus. So, and there's a way to promote awareness that they're going to sleep outside. And they said originally their mom introduced them to the Huckleberry House, and so they're trying to raise money. Their goal is $15,000 to raise to help with the Huckleberry House and everything they do. So a great thing they're doing, and that's tomorrow night at lower.com field. To get more information on it, you can just go out there and just Google, Huckleberry House Sleep Out, and you'll find out the information on that. But they were on here today, and a couple of funny things interesting things I picked up on was there was a lot of talk about Sonny switching over to linebacker.
Yeah.
Which he's kind of forced to because of how damn big he is. You know what I mean?
He's not a little guy.
Right. And here is what Sonny Stiles is saying about gaining weight to play linebacker. This was earlier today on the Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
I just try to get like 4 meals a day, try to fit some snacks in. I'm trying to do better with not just eating junk food. Because you feel better when you eat better. So I've been trying to do that. But yeah, I'm not really trying to force any weight on. I'm just eating gradually because my body, I just gain weight gradually when I eat right. So that's all I've been doing, really.
So, the guy's a beast, and I can't wait to watch him play this year. Here are his thoughts on the OSU's linebacker position.
When you're in the position room with guys, you kind of get to know them a little bit better. So, I think we got a really good room. I think Cody, he's going to lead us all. I mean, he's got more snaps than all of us in that room. I think he's the only one in the room that started at linebacker.
Yeah.
So, we got a lot of young guys, but talented guys as well. So I think it's going to be exciting to see what happens.
What's going to be his biggest challenge, DeVier, you think, going to linebacker from a DB?
I think physicality.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the run game. And basically, when you're at safety, you're the last line, Tito.
Right.
So all of that physicality and everything kind of happens in front of your face.
Right.
And you can kind of react to it to where, at that second line, it's right there. It's right now, and things are happening a lot quicker. And even just in the passing game, right? You have to break on balls and see things before it happens.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously you do at DB, but just you have to kind of already be in position. You can't see the ball in the air and react. You kind of already got to be in the flat.
Right.
Yeah. It's kind of like assignment. And I think for Sonny, that's a real transition. And I think it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen naturally just because of the athlete he is, Tito.
Right.
But I think more than anything for him, just getting used to the, you got a left tackle coming at you. You got a guard or center getting to that second level. That's not a wide receiver coming to block you. So I think once he gets over that and gets used to the physicality, be fine.
Is it night and day difference as far as the playbook, the play calls go from that position, or are there traits from being safety, you can still transfer over to linebacker.
I think so in the passing game and coverage-wise. You kind of understand those things, but you add that run game and fitting into those run holes and fitting into those run gaps. That's something that's in addition to the playbook. Now, it's not too much to ask in terms of route combinations and understanding that and recognizing that stuff. It's probably like that same gap of like, what would you say, depth? Yeah. So, but it's just run game. You got to be there, and if you're not there, you got Ransom behind you making that tackle, and you don't want many of those plays.
I would say I don't think many guys want to get hit by Sonny Styles more than once out there on the field. If he gets a good lick on you,
it's so scary when you think about when it clicks.
Yeah,
just his size and his speed and what he'll be able to actually do. Man, I mean, if it really happens for him this year or next year,
right?
I mean, the dude is going to be a first-round pick, man. He's going to pass all the eyeball tests.
He seems like it's for me this year. There's certain players that have on defense that you remember through history as having the game. Like, this was the Joey Bosa game. This was the Nick Bosa game, or this was, But I feel like we're going to have a Sonny Styles game this year where it's like he does so much, that he disrupts a team a lot, makes big plays, and I think we're going to have a Sonny Styles game this year. Here is what he said. He was talking about playing linebacker with Laurinaitis as his linebacker coach.
It's been good. I think I feel comfortable there. It's good. I don't have to cover those little 5'8", 4'3" receivers no more.
Cover your brother in the slide. You don't do that stuff.
Nah, but I feel like the position fits my abilities well. Being with Coach Laurinaitis, he's a great coach. I mean, I think him being such a great player, and he just helps you understand the game more. And he's not one of those guys that kind of like rips you as soon as you do something wrong. He's like, what's your thought process? What are you doing? Helps you fix that thought process and helps you make the play the next time it shows up. So working with him has been great.
Lorenzo Styles, his brother. Yeah, it's Laurinaitis. What a great hire. They had to make him a full-time coach. They were going to lose him somewhere. He's had a big impact. I'm glad he can go out there and recruit now on the road. That'll be big for Ohio State as well. Lorenzo Styles, his brother, who transferred from Notre Dame to here. He was a wide receiver starting out, and now he's be the defensive backfield. But here is Lorenzo Styles talking about the transition from Notre Dame to Ohio State.
There was definitely an adjustment period for 2 years. I started at receiver, now I'm here at Ohio State playing corner. So I had to really just figure out, like, okay, I'm playing corner now and make it's a difference being on the defense side of the ball. I have Coach Walt, who's helped me out a lot. I got my teammates, but the standard's really high here. So every single day I'm competing at that standard. And this year I'm excited to go put a little bit more in the field, as I had a red shirt last year just to develop a little bit. So this year I'm excited. Me and Sonny make some plays together.
Lorenzo's going to be good. I like it. I think he's got the fact he's got wide receiver experience has got to help him in the DB experience, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I still remember that play he made versus us 2 years ago.
Yeah.
First play of the game. Made a huge one. But, man, just the opportunity to play with your brother.
Yeah.
You know how special that is?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, me and my brother played against each other in college, and we would have loved to be on the same team, just going at our goals together, working in the weight room.
Right.
7-on-7, camp. Yeah. Going through a season journey together, man, that's just so awesome. Something that these guys will forever, ever hold dear. 20 years from now, they'll have their kids up here telling, their wife and kids about how they went to school together and played here and made history here. So, man, that's just awesome.
I mean, a whole group of the Griffin family played here, with Archie and Duncan and Ray, like those brothers. And then I know the kids that I knew, the Gwynn kids, Anthony and Jason Gwynn, both played at Ohio State together too. But that's pretty cool. That is a cool thing. Here's Lorenzo talking about his decision to transfer to Ohio State from Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's also like a real decorated program, so like the standard was pretty similar. I just feel like I trusted it was really Coach Walt. I trusted Coach Walt with my development. If I wanted to play corner, I wanted to originally come to Ohio State. So knowing I had the opportunity to do that, I thought, why not take it? I know Sonny and my family played a little bit of part. It does feel nice just to be around some family love. But at the end of the day, I had to do what's the best for me. And if you go ball at Ohio State and strap up, you have a good chance to go play in the NFL for a long time.
Yeah, and Ohio State, look, they've turned into DBU, it seems like, lately with the guys they've had coming out. So I'm excited to see how he plays in his transition from Notre Dame to Ohio State. I want to get some thoughts on this. We'll hear Sonny talk about the Huckleberry House and why it is so important to him.
Something that actually stood out to me last year, there was a young lady that was at the event, and she stayed at the Huckleberry House when she was younger, and she kind of talked about her story and her life story and what she went through and what the Huckleberry House did for her. So, I mean, it made me just feel really good to be able to support such a great organization. And then, last year the event was great. People talk about how it rained and stuff, but, I mean, it was one night for us. We knew we had a home to go back to the next day. We had a tarp on the ground, sleeping bag, something over our head. So, I mean, for me, it was a big reflection thing. And, I'm excited to do it again, and hopefully we can bring some more people in.
That's right, the Huckleberry House. Yeah, it's a cool thing.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. I'm not saying that's the only reason they're doing this, but it's because obviously fans have been involved for so long. But with the NIL and things that the players can get now and have access to money out to money and things like that, I always love seeing them giving it back. Yeah. Giving back to the community somehow. And
nothing against the collectives, but those are 501c3s,
right,
and there are nonprofits, and just for them to be able to actually do work in the community and actually have opportunities for these players and the players to dive into this stuff with their faith and with their philanthropic side. Tito, I love it. I love to see guys getting into this stuff early because it's always something that you imagine yourself doing as a player. Like, hey, man, I always want to give back. But to be able to do it in college and to be able to do it on this platform in Columbus, man, I mean, these guys have so much power within the community, so much social equity, that you got to use it for good, and you got to use it to give back to your community. Love that the Styles brothers are taking this initiative on seriously.
I'll send a link out on my Twitter page. I'm at Fit Happens. I don't know, Jacob, do you have access to the fans' Twitter over there? If you can do that, I'll send you a link to it, and we can put that out there on there as well, with a link, though, about the sleep out on Friday, May 31st. Thank you to the Styles boys for coming in today, or earlier this morning, and thanks to, again, Bobby for getting those guys in here so we could have that sound this evening. Coming up next, though, it is a weekly segment we do here. It is time for some beers and some Buckeyes with our boy Pat Murphy. We'll do that next. This is the Buckeye Show on 97.1 The Fan.
Three dudes who'll make you feel like the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah, we hornswoggled you good.
Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Are you not able to enjoy the summer as much as you want because of joint pain? This is the time of year for being outdoors. It's the best, but not if your knees, shoulders, hips, or back are hurting. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Don't suffer any longer. Non-surgical joint pain relief is here at QC Kinetics. Call them today. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking about lasting pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and best of all, no downtime. QC Kinetics advanced treatments harness your own body's biologics and help restore and repair damaged joint tissue so you can walk, run, hike, play golf, move, swim, all pain-free. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of former orthopedic surgeon Dr. Mitchell Sheencup, a true pioneer in regenerative medicine. They have locations in Columbus, in both Gahanna and Dublin. Their advanced protocols have enabled tens of thousands of patients to reclaim their mobility. So go check them out at QCKinetics/Columbus or give them a call, 380-208-4544.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for over 30,000 mouth-watering choices with savings beyond low prices, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. More savings and more inspiring flavors make Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, you can save big on bags of Doritos, Tostitos, and Ruffles chips. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
My guys at Germain Lexus are getting ready for the Memorial. What they do every single year is let the golfers drive around in beautiful Lexuses for the week. Then they take those cars and sell them to you. You could be driving Rory's car. The Germain all-month-long celebration's going on right now. You can get great deals like this one. 2024 RX 350, 36-month lease, 10,000 miles per year, $49.99 down, $519 a month. I just picked up my brand new RX 350 a few weeks ago. It is plush. Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Morning Juice.
I had a big surprise party on Friday night for my 90-year-old grandma.
People say that's a bad idea to surprise.
The surprise wasn't.
Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Affinity Whole Health.
Weekday mornings at 6. The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony here for the Good Feet store. You know, we do a segment on the show every week called Pressure, but that's about sports. What about the pressure your feet endure every day? I know mine did. When I went to the Good Feet store, I learned I was out of line. I joked, I already know that. They said, no, physically, my feet weren't being supported the right way. So when I went to the store on Polaris Parkway, they also have one on Stringtown Road, I took all the time I needed to walk around the store to see what felt and fit the best in my shoes. Once I had them in, my personal arch supports from the Good Feet store, my lower back pain went away. What a feeling. You need to get your free personalized fitting by one of their arch support specialists. For arch supports to be effective, they require precision fit. That's why Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store. You like them? You can wear them home. You have nothing to lose but the pain. So go to goodfeet.com today or go in and try the Good Feet feeling. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief, all from the Good Feet store.
Jimmy walks up to the line. His credit card debt is calling a blitz. He signals to upstart.com for an audible. Final play. Pike. Jimmy drops back. In a flash, he cuts over to a streaking upstart.com with a no-cost rate check on a personal loan. He's wide open. An easy toss for Jimmy by finding a great rate in minutes. He applies, he's approved, and touchdown.
Tackle your credit card debt with a personal loan. Check your rate at upstart.com today. That's upstart.com. Loans are made by Upstart Lending Partners. Loan terms will be determined based on credit, income, and other information provided in your application. Not all applicants will be approved. And now we're on our way with COTA, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Whether it's game day or every day, COTA moves Buckeyes fans down the line toward victory. Download the Transit app today for an easy way to plan and pay for your next trip. Visit COTA.com/transit app to learn more.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Drink up, Slappy. It's time for Beers and Buckeyes with Patrick Murphy.
We do this every week on the Buckeye Show. I should say we. Tim does this every week on the Buckeye Show. Today, though, I'm in for Tim Hall. I'm Tito, DeVier to my right. And we're going to go out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling System fan guest hotline, joined by our good friend, Patrick Murphy from Bucknuts and 24/7 Sports. Patrick, it's kind of a dead period, I guess, right now for Ohio State football. How are you filling up your time?
Oh, we stay busy. There is still plenty left over from spring practice that we can write and talk about. I did a podcast earlier today with our guy Dave Biddle. We talked about his career on the beat. So, you got to be a little clever at this time of year. But next week, recruiting camps start, so we'll have that to talk about. And look, I always say you got to enjoy this time because before we know it, it's back to football, which is a good thing, but that means back to work for me. So you got to enjoy a little bit of freedom now.
Speaking of recruiting stuff coming up now, is there a recruit or two that you are excited to see in action?
You caught me off guard on that one. Off the top of my head, no, but I haven't dove into the list yet of guys that will be there. My favorite thing about these camps is not necessarily the guys that you know about going in. And I've talked with Bill Kurlick, our recruiting guy over at Bucknuts, about this before, is like those guys that just, you may have heard the name, you may be aware that this kid is coming to campus that day, but then he pops, and all of a sudden he lands an offer that maybe most people didn't expect or things like that. So, it's good to see the guys that you hear about all year. Maybe you see them playing some high school games if you make it out to those. But I think it's always fun when you can, this kid who I didn't expect is someone now I want to go talk to. And now we have, something different to write about. So that's kind of how I look at those camps. Fun to see them all, let's be clear. But I like the guys that kind of surprise you a little bit.
P. Murph, how you doing? Depot here, man.
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I got a ABC question for you.
All right.
I know who I like on this defense, who a lot of people aren't talking about, and that I think is going to have a breakout year. I want to know who you're thinking about on defense. B, I want to know who you're thinking about on offense that's having a breakout year. And C, why is nobody talking about Mylan Graham, a 5-star guy that can run every route? He's fast, he has a long stride, and he's an absolute baller.
I'm going to start with C and work backwards because I have a best answer for that. And it's Jeremiah Smith is the reason no one's talking about Mylan Graham. Look, if this were a different recruiting class and Mylan Graham was Ohio State's top wide receiver commit, this would be the guy everyone would be excited to get on campus because he didn't enroll early. Everyone would be pumped to see what he was going to bring. We'd be talking about how much he can contribute this fall, those type of things. But you had Jeremiah Smith, the number 1 overall prospect in the class, come in. And lighted up in spring ball. So, people have kind of forgotten that the Buckeyes have another really, really talented wide receiver in this class. B, offensively, I think the answer a lot of people would go with is Jeremiah Smith, but I'm not going to go that way.
No, you can't go that way, Pat.
No, that's too easy, right?
Lazy.
Easy.
Yeah. I think if you're staying with receivers, I mean, you saw some of Carnell Tate last year. I think he could be one. I think Brandon Ennis as well, if he gets time in the slot as they move Emeka around, could surprise people. I know he obviously had the big touchdown catch, the long touchdown catch against, I think it was Purdue last year. But he's a guy that when we've seen him out there before he picked up an injury in the spring, I think he brings something dynamic to the offense. And then on defense, so many guys back that it's hard. I think one guy that probably I think could get more pub if it plays the way he did at the end of last season is Jack Sawyer.
Oh man.
And he's another guy. He's another guy who was kind of overshadowed at the end of the recruiting with JT Tuimulau.
Yeah.
Has been moved around a little bit and now is back at defensive end after playing that hybrid spot. I think you saw the best of him at the end of last year, and he could be a guy that if he can play that way, that's pretty dangerous with those two defensive ends up there.
Yeah, Pat, I was with you on Brandon Ennis. I really think he's going to have a breakout year. I think Noah Rogers might get some time in there too. I thought he had a great spring, but the guy on defense, and me and Tito have talked about this, maybe it was Tim, I think Cody Simon is up for an all Big Ten year, man. I just really think this guy plays physical. He was kind of overshadowed the past 2 years behind Steel Chambers and Tommy Eichenberg, but the way that he plays and the fact that it's his show, it's his defense as the Mike linebacker in one of Ohio State's potentially best defenses, him having that position, I really think he emerges as a star this year.
I think that's a good one. I think probably the reason I didn't go that direction is just because we've been around, covering this team. We're around Cody a lot because he's been, he was a starter before Jim Knowles got there and they went to two linebackers. And so I just kind of already think of him as a established guy, even though I think from a fan perspective or, if you're not out at the Woody every day, you don't think of him that way. So I think that's a really good point. I certainly think he will have a big year. I just feel like he's just been around for so long and we talk to him a lot and things like that. Like that's a guy who could probably be a captain this season with the way he handles himself.
Pat Murphy joining us. It's Beers and Buckeyes with Pat Murphy from Bucknuts and 24/7 Sports, joining us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling System Fan Guest Hotline. Going back, Patrick, to when they first introduced Jim Knowles, I remember a lot of the things that he said early on, and he talked about how the defense that he employs is susceptible to big plays, and they can get beat big plays. We saw it happen in that first, against Toledo, had a couple big plays. Notre Dame early on, they had big plays. And has anything changed, or has he talked about having any changes schematically, or is it still that same, like the same scheme when they're attacking teams?
Well, I think that after that first season where the big plays obviously cost Ohio State, especially in the big games at the end of the year.
Yep.
Last year they did some more, put the shell on the top of the defense. Let's keep everything in front of us. And in talking to Jim Knowles this spring, I got the sense that maybe you could see kind of the best of both worlds here this season, where they can be a little bit more aggressive, play with some risk. Maybe you do get beat once or twice, because that's always been his thing. Like, if you can keep it under a certain number, the offense should be good enough to win the games, right? And so I think you might see a blend of what you saw in the first year, but also now you've got this ability with this secondary to kind of cover up anything in the back. And, adding a guy like Caleb Downs, having a Lathan Ransom back with the experience that those two have, the talent that those two have, I think that helps out a lot on the back end of the defense to help prevent some of those big plays.
Man, Pat, I love it. I want to stay in the coordinator category. I want to talk about the Chip Kelly effect and just how he has not changed college football with the pace of his play and his running attacks and his unique ability. I want to know what you've been seeing from him and how that's impacted the team. And what's the over or under that Chip goes back out to Eugene and puts 40 up on his old school?
Yeah, I think Chip Kelly is I think we could probably have a whole radio show about Chip Kelly and what he's going to add to this Buckeye offense. The running game you mentioned, I think that will be more dynamic. The combination of him and Carlos Lachlan, another guy who probably wants to do some damage when they go out to Oregon. So look for them to run the ball a lot in that game. But, yeah, I mean, Coach Kelly is dynamic. You combine him and Ryan Day, who were two guys that have worked together before. This isn't a new pairing and trying to develop chemistry like it would have been with Bill O'Brien. I think he will, that quarterback run stuff we heard about, that's not really a big Ryan Day thing as we've seen the last few years. He'll do it. Justin Fields did it. JT Barrett did it. But Chip Kelly will utilize that. You've got the guys to utilize that. You've got the running backs. Now you add in some of that creativity. I mean, think back to when he had all that talent at Oregon, and no slight to UCLA, but it wasn't quite the same level of player. Well, he certainly got that now, right? And so I think his wheels have already been spinning from things we've heard about what they can do with this offense in 2024.
Yeah, I think the Chip Kelly revenge tour will take off here this season. Some of these games when they play UCLA the first time. All right, hey, thanks so much. Let's get you out on this one though, before we let you go. What's the beverage of choice tonight?
Yeah, that's a good question. I actually realized today that because I've been traveling so much these last weekends, I don't have a single beer in my house. So we may have to pour a bottle of liquor or something. I'm going to have to look around.
Pat, you a whiskey guy?
Store too. Yeah, I can do that.
There you go.
See, we need to have him in studio and bring it in here so we can all take advantage of it.
Yeah,
there you go.
Have a glass of whiskey and watch our Buckeye, Mike Conley, extend the series out one more game.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, thanks a lot, brother. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, talk to you guys.
That was Pat Murphy from Bucknuts and 24/7 Sports joining us there on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Coming up next, one of the Power Four conferences is awfully crafty. We'll talk about that next. Buckeye Show, 97.1 The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Since 1897, the Byers Auto family of dealerships has been serving Central Ohio's transportation needs. When we first opened our doors, our vehicles were fueled by oats and hay, required saddles, not seatbelts, and had shoes instead of tires. Over 120 years later, Byers Auto is still family-owned and operated. Our goal is to provide the best selection, price, and service in Central Ohio. And it's all on one website, buyersauto.com.
Come see why it's better to buy from Byers.
Byers Auto is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Marathon has some great news about the number 5, so I'm going to say it 5 times in 5 different ways.
Join Marathon Rewards and earn up to $5 in rewards on your first visit. Join and earn 5 cents in rewards for every gallon you buy.
Join in as little as 5 seconds.
Join to make 5 friends jealous. Join and get high fives.
It's easy to sign up at the station or go to marathonrewards.com. By joining with your phone number, you are agreeing to receive recurring automated informational marketing SMS/MMS messages from Marathon. Consent not required for purchase. Messaging and data rates may apply.
Hi, I'm Gene Smith, Senior Vice President and Director of Athletics. Ohio State Athletics and Cardinal Health know how important diversity, equity, and inclusion are to the success of our community, employees, and student athletes. And we believe an equitable culture creates a community that attracts and retains the very best. Visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Buckeye-inclusion to learn more and join us as we educate and celebrate the value of diversity and inclusion.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
Attention weekend warriors. Fan Sports Saturday has moved to 10 a.m. Join Eric Reeser and Tyvis Powell as they dive into popular topics like the Buckeyes and Tyvis's liquid diet.
Saturdays from 10 to 1.
The Fan.
This offer is only available at Reichert Ford. 0% financing for 72 months on every 2023 Ford F-150 in stock. Take advantage of Reichert's rate before it's too late. Lock in your 0% rate and take a new truck home today. Thousands of vehicles are waiting at ReichertFord.com.
See dealer for details. N6324.
Exclusively at Reichert Ford. 0% for 72 months is now available on every new 23 F-150 in stock. Hundreds of trucks at ReichertFord.com. We're dealing.
Get the right car at
Riker.
We're dealing.
Ohio Mulch, Landscape Supply.
Hi, this is Ron Frost with Ohio Mulch, and here's to Ohio Mulch celebrating 40 years of making the community a greener and more beautiful place, one garden at a time. Don't miss out on the opportunities to elevate your outdoor space and to be part of a journey towards the next 40 successful years. Check out our promotions online at ohiomulch.com.
Ohio Mulch, Landscape Supply. Greener, greener, better.
When it comes to getting a new roof, are you confident letting just anyone on the roof of your home? I'm Craig Schottenstein, owner of Schottenstein Roofing. Our team is dedicated to delivering outstanding value on every roof we repair or replace. Whether residential or commercial, Schottenstein Roofing meets the needs of every customer. From roof installation and repair to siding and gutters, you name it, we do it. Call Schottenstein Roofing, 614-321-8888 to schedule your free inspection today. Go to schottensteinroofing.com.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Block O on the radio. This is the Buckeye Show.
It is the Buckeye Show. Tito and DeVier with you. Jacob behind the glass there. Thank you so much for tuning in. The Buckeyes have a couple of game times that were announced. We're in the Michigan game's at noon, as it always is. That'll be on Fox. But their opener against Akron on August 31st will be a 3:30 kick DeVier on CBS. And the September 7th game against Western Michigan, a night game on BTN. Of course it is. They always find a way to put an Ohio State game against a crappy opponent on BTN just to draw eyeballs to it.
That's a good game, though.
It's a good game?
You know why?
Tell me why.
It's a good game to give your tickets away.
You're right. That is the game.
That's the game.
Yes.
Because a night game in the shoe,
right?
A lot of people don't get the experience.
That, you know what? You're absolutely. I think yes, that's the one. If you have season tickets, you get a chance.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one you give away. You're absolutely right.
I got a few guys, my guy Omar, a few other guys. I could possibly say, hey, you want to go to Ohio State game?
Right.
Night game?
Yeah.
Western Michigan.
There you
Mustangs.
Yeah.
Go watch a 50-point blowout.
Let's talk it up that way now. You're right. Yes. Now it's an important game.
It is, man.
Is. No,
You can't take night games lightly in the shoe, especially as a player.
It's a fun experience.
You don't get many of them.
I know.
You don't get many night games.
I was at the Texas game with Vince Young.
Oh,
I remember that one.
Just stunting on.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That was at that game, and the night game there.
That's a great one.
That was a good one to go to, though.
Yeah.
The SEC. This is why they're smart. You know, there's talk about adding a ninth conference game. There's a lot of talk they should add a ninth conference game and get rid of like that game against Mercer or against South Dakota State, whatever they play, those stupid games.
Mm-hmm.
And what they are doing is so smart. They are telling ESPN, we'd like to add a ninth conference game, but if we're going to do that, we're going to need more money in the deal. The deal they've negotiated, which is smart to do it that way. Because, you know, ESPN wants it. And, you know, college football fans want it. So Greg Sank, the SEC commissioner, they've had conversation with ESPN's leadership a couple weeks ago just to re-engage and let them understand that if we stay at 8, what's absent from the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a very smooth move by them to do that now.
Absolutely.
I like the idea of that.
So Tito, these guys are having that team as the night game.
What's that now?
They're having that team like a Mercer or smaller. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I mean, ESPN to take it.
No, but they're saying they don't play more conference games. So if they want to add that ninth conference game into it, though, to make the SEC get to 9 conference games, these better matchups, then they're going to want ESPN to fork over more money in the TV deal because it'll certainly be a more quality game than what they normally get. They did announce that all the SEC-controlled games on Tuesday, June 11th will be announced. They're going to have some an early start, the 12 to 1 o'clock afternoon, the 3:30 to 4:30 or night games. And they're going to have some games are going to be flagged as flex games. that they can move around based on how the season goes. Makes perfect sense. I know the NFL does it. I love the fact the NFL does it with the flex games.
Yeah.
And this year, I think the NFL could flex Monday night games now too. So that's a good idea from that one. But there were some other game times released today, and I'm telling you, DeVier, every time I see this, I get excited when the NFL schedule release happens.
Yeah, I know. I was here.
We were here together. You see it,
yeah,
and I get excited about it. What I love about the NCAA thing is that it gets the fact that we get, like, it trickles out throughout the season. You know what I mean? Throughout the summer and everything. Yeah. We get game times getting released. They've released all the game times, or most of the game times for the first few weeks, I believe. So, but that then I can start. I start in my mind planning my days already. You know, I start planning what that is like. And we know the week 2 thing with Ohio State now playing that game on BTN, or week 3, I think it is week 3.
So Tito, tell me what the schedule is like for 12, 3:30 and night game for Tito. How are you prepping the body? When is the first sip of alcohol?
Oh, that's a great question. I work on some Saturdays. Okay. So usually when we get together with our friends for this, we know it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yes. Yeah. So, I always take that mindset.
Now, typically, we've got a nice setup outside, and I can do some work from outside while watching the 12 o'clock game for a couple hours.
Some work outside.
What's that?
What kind of work outside?
I do on my computer, my laptop. I've got to do work. On
Saturdays,
I work most Saturdays. Yeah, for my state job. Yeah.
Oh man. Wow.
So I'll have the TV out there, and then the friends will start arriving right before the 3:30 game usually. Yeah. But we'll go to a friend's house right after I get done working with the 3:30 game, and then it's a lot of early on. It'll be probably enjoying whatever the Ohio State games will all be centered all around that. Mm-hmm. But I would say the first sip of alcohol occurs around 2:01 when I'm done working.
Yep,
but
2:01.
Yeah, but you got to pace yourself. And I love there's so many. The college football thing is great because there's so many options you can watch. Mm-hmm. You can flip between good, and especially this year with so many good games at different times.
You gotta get the multi-screen action going, Tito. It's time.
I might do it this year.
You gotta get to split the screen.
Man. I know. I might have to do it this year, especially for our outside thing. We have like this like gazebo thing out there.
Oh yeah,
and it's got the walls around it, like cloth walls. But you can open it up or close it up, and it's great. We have lights out there and nice furniture to sit on. It's a lot of fun to sit out there and watch football. How about you? What's your normal? I know you do have the multi screens.
Well, if it's a 12 o'clock game, I'm out there at 5:30 a.m. with Matty Ice.
That's right.
Doing the show.
You're right.
And then I'm doing the stage calls. Then I'm popping over to a tailgate here. Then I'll pop to another tailgate there. And if I'm going to the game, I'm trying to get my field passes. Got to see the warm ups.
Right.
Then I'll sit in my seat for a little bit. Go say what's up to some people in the boxes, and then But the thing about going to the games for me, I hate to walk from my car to my seat and the walk from my seat to my car. I wish I could teleport.
Right.
I wish I can get carried there. That's the one thing about my feet hurt, and I didn't even play.
Right.
But if I'm at home and we got a 3:30 game and I make it home, I don't like to watch football with people. Like, I don't want to host anybody. Like, I don't want to be a friend.
Right.
On days that Ohio State's playing. I just want to watch the game because I feel like I'm watching a family member. I feel like I'm watching a little cousin or a little brother play the game. Yeah. And then also, it just helps for breakdowns for shows when I'm like, weird enough, in my notes, I'll write what happens each drive.
Right.
That I just because I just be sharp, so I don't really watch it as a fan. I'm like watching film.
Sure.
Now, when I'm watching other games, I'll enjoy it, have a glass of whiskey, hang out, maybe a cigar. But when I'm watching Ohio State, it's all business, baby.
See, sometimes I do feel that way. As far as going to the games, look, we've got season tickets, and I didn't go to a single game last year. We either sold them or gave them away, and it's just it's for me, and I want to get past it because I know it sounds like get off my lawn.
Going to a Michigan game?
I might we might go. I don't know if we'll go or sell. It kind of depends.
That's a big ticket.
That should be a big ticket this year. Yeah,
that's Christmas right there.
Yeah, I mean this year we're going to the road game at Oregon, but I'm not sure what home games we're going to go to. But I like you. I hate walking forever, parking far away. I hate the traffic in and out.
Yeah.
I hate the lines in the restroom. I hate all that stuff.
Yeah.
I love the experience, but what I like about watching at home, I like having a nice TV at home where I can, if there's crappy weather out, it won't affect me. You know, if I need to go to the bathroom, I go to the bed. The beer's a lot cheaper. The drinks are a lot cheaper.
Absolutely. You know? I told my son, I said, if you make it pro, son, all I want, don't buy me a house.
Right.
Don't buy me a car.
Yeah.
Don't even want any money.
Right.
But I do want to come to the games.
Yeah.
And the only thing I ask,
right,
get me a player parking pass.
Right. Exactly. Hey, it's a big difference. I know. Hey,
so I don't want to be. You can walk in and do your, you know how they walk in with the outfits on. I'll let you. I'll sit in the car. Just wait at the tunnel after the camera goes, and then I'll walk in. I just want to park where the players park. That's it.
DeVier, media events have ruined my experience as fans because being able to go under the ropes at Muirfield, always going to inside of the media tent and everything, and going like to the jackets as a media member and things like that. Mm-hmm. It's totally ruined my experience now, which I'm sure for you it's like that.
Like, I don't want to.
You got to park like a civilian now. You used to be able to walk into the state. Yeah.
Gym Pop. When I first moved back, I was like, I want to experience the Gym Pop Ohio State experience. I want to do it. Then after a while, I'm like, all right, bro, this is I need a parking pass.
Dude, you call Ohio State, you get what you want.
Parking pass.
They'll give you whatever.
Well, with the fans, I park.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah. And plus, you're there damn early.
So early.
Right. It's like you nudge the rooster and say, hey, man, it's time to get up. We're doing a show.
I move the cones when it's time to go on Lane Avenue. Yeah.
All right, coming up next, top of the hour, we're going to Sports Center update, and then we'll also show up with the College Football Pulse. We'll do that next. Buckeye Show on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here in The Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
Grab life by the chicken fingers and savor the day with hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret cane sauce that makes everything that much better.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Generation Radio, classic hits, original artists. Saturday, June 15th, the Columbus Commons. Join Jay DeMarcus of Rascal Flatts, Jason Shep of Chicago, and Steve Barone of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers as they bring you the biggest classic hits of all time. Live on stage, the hits of Rascal Flatts, Chicago, and Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers and more. Generation Radio with the Columbus Symphony. Tickets on sale now at C-Bus Arts Ticket Center or picnicwiththepops.com. Presented by Nationwide Picnic with the Pops.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Valley Ford of Columbus. If you're looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle without breaking the bank, well, Valley has a sweet selection of certified pre-owned Ford Blue Advantage cars, trucks, and SUVs waiting for you. Get the better deal with my guys at Valley Ford of Columbus.
And now we're on our way with COTA, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Whether it's game day or every day, COTA moves Buckeyes fans down the line toward victory. Download the Transit app today for an easy way to plan and pay for your next trip. Visit COTA.com/transit app to learn more.
It's no fun to get blindsided. That's why you need to know what's coming in Ohio Medicaid.
Championship quarterback Cardale Jones.
Recent changes in Ohio Medicaid could impact you. If your information isn't up to date, you can lose your health insurance. Call the Ohio Department of Medicaid so you don't have to scramble to stay insured.
Call 800-324-8680. A public health message from CareSource.
That's what I call forward progress.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Jimmy walks up to the line. His credit card debt is calling a blitz. He signals to Upstart.com for an audible. Final play. Bike. Jimmy drops back. In a flash, he cuts over to a streaking Upstart.com with a no-cost rate check on a personal loan. He's wide open. An easy toss for Jimmy by finding a great rate in minutes. He applies, he's approved, and touchdown.
Tackle your credit card debt with a personal loan. Check your rate at Upstart.com today. That's Upstart.com. Loans are made by Upstart Lending Partners. Loan terms will be determined based on credit, income, and other information provided in your application. Not all applicants will be approved.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus, The Fan. The The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Jacob Reimer. Game 5 in the Western Conference Finals between the Dallas Mavericks and Minnesota Timberwolves is tonight. Minnesota took Game 4 to stay alive and now trail in the series 3-1. Dallas can advance to the NBA Finals with a win tonight. You can find Game 5 from Minnesota here on The Fan with coverage beginning at 8. In hockey, Game 5 between the Rangers and Panthers is tonight from Madison Square Garden. That series is tied at 2 games apiece after the Panthers took Game 4 in overtime to even up the series. Puck drop of the pivotal Game 5 is tonight at 8. At the RBC Canadian Open, Sam Burns is tied for first after firing a 7 under 63. He's tied with Sean O'Hare and David Skins. Rory McIlroy is 3 back at 4 under par. Both Ohio baseball teams are off tonight. The Guardians will host the Washington Nationals tomorrow night from Progressive Field. Tanner Bybee is on the mound for the Guardians. And the Reds have an afternoon tilt with the Chicago Cubs tomorrow. Graham Ashcraft will throw for the Redlegs. First pitch tomorrow is at 2:20 from Wrigley. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric. Need heating, cooling, plumbing, or electric? Call a carpenter.
All right, Tito, DeVier, Jacob with you, and Nathan with you. I've neglected saying Nathan's name. Nathan, how are you today, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great, thank you.
Nate, just act like you're not working.
That's what I do.
Just Tito, just no acknowledgement. Damn.
I admit it was rude. I should have said something early on. Did you give him his gift yet that you got him?
Yeah, I got him. Yeah. Did you get it? I left it on your desk.
That's good. Jacob, college football. Jacob, how are you?
I am doing great, Tito. My apologies.
A little burp there.
Yeah, just took a little sip of water. I am doing great, getting ready here for the college football playoff. First thing I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on is from an article from Dennis Dodd of CBS Sports. SEC leaders argue a 9-3 record is good enough for expanded college football playoff. What do you guys think will be the cutoff record for teams fighting to make the last couple spots in the playoff?
We talked about this yesterday, Jacob. You know, a 3-loss playoff team. For me, the resume has to look like this. You lose to a team that's already in the playoffs. You lose an out-of-conference game early, and you lose the conference championship to a team that's like a top 4 team. I think that team, and if you dominate every other win, I think they have a case to get in the expanded playoffs.
With the conferences set up the way they are, you won't get enough quality wins or losses out of the Big 12 or ACC. It can't happen. Mm-hmm. So if a 3-loss team, I fully expect at least one, maybe 2 3-loss teams to get in this first year. I think it'll be one for the Big 10 and one from the SEC. That's the way it's going to happen. I think they because of the quality of losses they're going to have, no Big 12 team's going to go undefeated. No ACC team's going to go undefeated. And when you look at the schedules those teams are going to have to play versus what the Big 10 and SEC, the gauntlet they're going to have. We talked about some of the schedules yesterday. A 3-loss team in one of those conferences will absolutely trump a 2-loss team probably in the ACC or the Big 12.
What about an undefeated team in a
That's what I was going to throw out there. An undefeated or a 1-loss team.
What happened to Cincinnati in the playoffs?
Right.
Obviously the top 4 conference champions, top 4 rated conference champions are going to get the buys, and then do the group of 5 after that. And I think though that we're still going to see at least one 3-loss team in the playoffs every year because of Big 10 and SEC, and that's just schedules are going to have.
Yep.
All right, what do you got next?
Next one I got also from CBS Sports. Tom Fornelli believes that Oregon's Dylan Gabriel can lead the Ducks on a Big 10 title run. He also mentioned that Gabriel is a left-handed Bo Nix. So now can Dylan Gabriel, given Oregon's schedule, they've got Ohio State and Michigan State both at home. They play at Michigan, at Wisconsin. Could they go on at least get to the title game? Because, I think Ohio State's going to take it. But
No one I've talked to has thrown as much shade at Oregon as the man to my right.
Because it's Cap. You know what Cap is, Tito?
What's Cap?
It's Cap. It's a lie.
He's lying.
It's just I'm not a believer in Dylan Gabriel. And to compare him to someone of Bo Nix's stature,
right?
You're talking about a first-round quarterback that's done it in multiple leagues, went toe-to-toe with Penix twice.
Right.
I think it's disrespectful to compare him to Bo Nix.
But is Oregon the second best team in the Big 10?
We got to see.
Yeah.
We have to see. The thing about Oregon that I am excited for them to play in the Big Ten. They fancy themselves a physical team.
Right.
But we're going to see in Madison, in Ann Arbor, and when Ohio State comes to visit you guys. Like, I really want to know if you guys are as physical as you say you are.
That's going to be so fascinating. You're right, DeVier, to see that and to watch, because I never thought the Pac-12 was physical, and definitely on the level of the Big Ten.
Yeah, no.
And it's going to be interesting to see. And by the way, you think about how it changes the way the teams are going to scheme. You scheme for Pac-12 had a certain style of football.
Absolutely.
Big Ten's got a much different style. And you're going to be affected by weather a lot more in the Big Ten than you were in the Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
And those are all things they've got to account for. It's going to be interesting to see, when Oregon does go to Michigan, when Oregon, does go to Madison, and see how that looks for them. And when Ohio State comes in there, and I'm with you. I think that...
So, Tito, you think I throw shade at Oregon?
Are you saying the O on the field also represents the number of Big Ten titles they're winning?
Absolutely, man. I know a lot of guys that went to Oregon.
Yeah.
And I love Oregon. The looks.
Right.
But I'm not going to give them any love.
That's fine.
That makes sense.
I'm with you. I think Ohio State's going to, I don't know if I say they're going to handle him easily in Eugene.
Yeah.
I expect Ohio State to win that game, though.
Mm-hmm.
But I think everyone's going to have a real struggle with Ohio State this year. Breaking news on that one. But yeah, I think that it'll be interesting to watch that game. I think Oregon gets probably too much respect for the media right now, but they might be the second best team in the Big Ten right now. I don't know. What's next?
So last one here, guys. College football has moved some rivalries to Black Friday of the last week of the regular season. Some key ones: Wisconsin versus Minnesota for the Axe Trophy, Georgia versus Georgia Tech, and the Egg Bowl between Mississippi State and Ole Miss. Could you guys see this happening to more rivalries in college football?
Is it going to be on Amazon Prime? I don't know. What do you think, Tito?
Well, we know the NFL rules everything as far as television goes. Yeah. And the fact they've got the Black Friday game already, I could see more games going on earlier before the Black Friday game for the NFL, or around whenever the Black Friday NFL game starts. I do think you'll see more of that. I think college football is going to, they won't own Black Friday, but they can get a much bigger share of it. And I'm all for it. Look, nothing's sacred to me anymore as far as days when you play football and things like that. As long as they move Ohio State, Michigan to a Friday, I'll be okay. But any other rivalry game, I'm okay with them moving it over there.
Yeah, I'm just happy that they're holding rivalry sacred still, and they're making time for them, and they're still scheduling these games, in the changing landscape. So I'm fine with it, guys.
The Apple Cup this year between Washington and Washington State, they're in different conferences now, is still being played, but it's going to be only on Peacock, which that surprised me a little bit. I thought that would get a bigger audience.
What do you think about the Peacock whole structure and setup? Are you a fan?
It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Is
it glitchy?
It hasn't been glitchy for me. Mm-hmm. It's just it's something new because I've got the thumb memory. On where I'm going, last, next one, the channels I'm going to.
Yeah.
And when I'm streaming it on Peacock or streaming it on Amazon or whatever, I don't have that same comfort level yet.
Yeah.
Which means I'm old. And I don't know. My dad has none of this stuff. So,
got to go to the home screen.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
But it's like the guy.
But it's not, it's just, I've spent 50 years of my life.
I know.
Hitting that, well, not 50, they have remote controls when I was that young, but for a good chunk of my life, though, in front of the TV, I've got this channel on Saturdays, and that's how I do it. Now, you obviously you've got the Boss set up with the multi-screen, so you don't have to bounce around too much with that.
Yeah, no, it's totally legal.
Oh,
and,
yeah. No, I'm saying you got that, though. You're good. You're in good shape there. You don't have to do what I'm going to have to deal with, which is why I'm probably going to take that second TV and put it outside.
Oh, yeah.
And so I can have two games on at once while I'm sitting there. So I can just sit back and not even turn my head, just move my eyeballs back and forth.
Oh, man, that's the best.
That's the best thing in the world. Thanks for pulling it together, Jacob. We appreciate that. Coming up next, a couple of writers from The Athletic talk to high school football coaches in the Chicago area about the Big Ten, and a couple of surprising nuggets were in there. We'll talk about that next. This is the Buckeye Show on 97.1 The Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Get a great deal on select Kubota equipment, the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience in the U.S. The versatile lineup is built to help you make the most of your land. Right now at participating dealers, get a Kubota compact tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months, plus save up to $800 on qualifying implements. Now through October 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com/disclaimers for full disclaimer.
Hello, I'm Gene Smith, Senior Vice President and Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletic Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donatos, Huntington, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in the great state of Ohio through our Buckeyes Care initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag Buckeyes Care.
Jimmy walks up to the line. His credit card debt is calling a blitz. He signals to Upstart.com for an audible. Final play. Pike. Jimmy drops back. In a flash, he cuts over to a streaking Upstart.com with a no-cost rate check on a personal loan. He's wide open. An easy toss for Jimmy by finding a great rate in minutes. He applies, he's approved, and touchdown.
Tackle your credit card debt with a personal loan. Check your rate at Upstart.com today. That's Upstart.com. Loans are made by Upstart Lending Partners. Loan terms will be determined based on credit, income, and other information provided in your application. Not all applicants will be approved.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
Hi, I'm Gene Smith, Senior Vice President and Director of Athletics. Ohio State Athletics and Cardinal Health know how important diversity, equity, and inclusion are to the success of our community, employees, and student athletes. And we believe an equitable culture creates a community that attracts and retains the very best. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com/Buckeye-inclusion to learn more and join us as we educate and celebrate the value of diversity and inclusion.
And now we're on our way with Coda, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Whether it's game day or every day, Coda moves Buckeyes fans down the line toward victory. Download the Transit app today for an easy way to plan and pay for your next trip. Visit coda.com/transit app to learn more.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
It's the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event. So give your friends something to look at and make this a summer to share and save with a capable Kia SUV like the Sorento, Sportage, Seltos, or Telluride, or a powerful sedan like the fun-to-drive Forte, each backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. And for a limited time, get 1.9% APR for 48 months for well-qualified buyers and $1,000 bonus cash on specially tagged 2024 Sportage and Sorento models. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Financing for 24 to 48 months from Kia Finance, subject to credit approval for purchase of a new 2024 Sportage or Sorento. Excludes hybrids and PHEVs. $21.65 per month per $1,000 financed at 48 months. $1,000 bonus cash on specially tagged models must be applied as down payment. Must take delivery by 7/8/24. Limited inventory. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See retailer for details.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Plenty of sunshine, light winds, and pleasant on this Thursday. Temperatures around 70 degrees. Overnight will cool down to the mid-40s once again under clear skies and light winds. During the day on Friday, a perfect finish. Temperatures in the mid-70s with plenty of sunshine from start to finish. With your Doppler 10 forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
The show where we pay people extra to host with Timmy Hall. This is the Buckeye Show.
Buckeye Show. I'm Tito. He's DeVier. Jacob and Nate back there running things. If you check us out on YouTube, a couple things. Go to 971 The Fan. Check us out. You can see us on the cameras. And you'll notice, first of all, DeVier's hat game is strong. I love it.
Oh, very strong. I take pride in hat game. That's the one thing I do collect, Tito.
And if you also look, DeVier has not stopped carrying a football since his career ended. Everywhere he goes, he takes a football with him. He's got it right now. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a weird thing he does, but he always has it right there. And he always carries a Sharpie in his sock in case someone needs a signature.
Oh, man. No, I don't. Don't listen to Tito.
By the way, I've got some breaking news for you here if you want to hear this. Let me find the breaking news. The reason DeVier and I are here, Timmy's in for Common Man this week.
Yep.
And you're here tonight. You're always on Wednesdays, I believe, right, with Timmy?
Yes. Yep.
You're here tonight because Tyvis is finally getting his wisdom teeth out.
Nice, Tyvis.
He was scared to death of doing it, but I texted him. I texted him yesterday and said, hey, man, thinking of you. Hope you're doing okay. And he said, I appreciate that, but it's not until Thursday. So, anyway, I texted. I said, okay, fine. I copied and pasted the same message I sent and sent it to him. He just now responded and said he's doing better than he thought he would be doing.
Tyvis, I hope you're listening. Just know you can't trust a man who hasn't had their wisdom teeth pulled before the age of 30. That's all I'm going to say.
Before the age of 30?
Yeah, you can't, after the age of 30. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've never had a problem. Mine are still in.
They're still in?
Yeah. As far as I know.
Can't trust you.
Oh, I'm not going to get them out. No, I'm saying, if I take them out, I understand. You just said if you get them out after 30, I don't plan on getting them out.
Man, that's just crazy. I think I got them out. They were like pushing my bottoms, I was, they were pushing them together, and I just, I had to get them out, man. It's not that bad.
Hey, DeVier, you can trust me. I got my wisdom teeth taken out. We're all good.
How old are you?
My guy.
Jake,
I am 24.
I can trust that guy.
I got them taken out, though, a few years ago.
My idea for Tyvis, what I told me he should do, and I want to see if you would agree with this.
Yeah.
And I'm being completely honest about this. Mm-hmm. This is not a joke. I think if he, after he got him out, if they gave him to him and he signed them.
Think he kept them?
I don't know if he kept them or not, but I'm saying I think if he did that, though, I think some Buckeye fan would buy him.
That's crazy. Maybe.
There's some Buckeye fans that will buy some crazy stuff.
They will buy some crazy stuff. So I'm in the medicine cabinet not too long ago, and I see this shady Ziploc bag, and I'm like, what's this bag? It's all my kids' teeth that they've lost.
Really?
And I asked my wife, I'm like, what are you doing? What is this? Like, what are you doing with this? Like, when would it ever? He's going like what? Like,
at what point in your life do you think? Yeah.
I want to keep them.
Yeah.
They're gonna decay in this bag. Like, this is disgusting.
I've never wanted my baby teeth back. I've never said I wonder where they're at.
No, you want that money.
Well, yeah.
You want that money under that pillow. You're like, man.
Yeah, I wonder. That's Tyvis is checking in. He actually reached out to us on YouTube and made a comment about me standing now because I'm doing it again. My second.
Tito's trying to burn. He's trying to burn Apple Watch calories, guys.
No, I'm trying to right here. So my shirt does not wrinkle on my man boobs like my mom said when she saw me on here. So anyway, what the hell were we going to talk about? Oh, that's right. So New York, the Athletic, which I say I wouldn't subscribe to, they did this survey, and they've done it in other cities too. They did it with Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, but they did it with Chicago. Mm-hmm. They talked to some high school football coaches, confidentially, so no names or anything like that, and asked them questions about the schools that come in to recruit and some of the things. And when I read through it the first time, DeVier, this is why it was Jesse Temple and Scott Docterman put it together. But I read through it, and anytime I look through these things, I look for just strictly Ohio State. Where can I see Ohio State names, Ohio State references, whatever. I look through it. And there were only a couple in this thing. And I started to think, wait, should there be more of an Ohio State? Then I started thinking, how many Ohio State players have been great that have come from Chicago? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I can't think of, I thought of Tuff Borland and Evan Spencer. But I can't think of any other, Ohio State needing to have a big presence in Chicago.
That's a tough place to recruit for Ohio State. Carnell Tate, he has Chicago roots. He's from Chicago.
He went to high school in Florida, didn't he? Or did he?
Yeah, but it was one of those a
couple years in Chicago and then, yeah.
Yeah, I think last year, IMG, right. But I know he's a current Buckeye that's
right.
But besides, I don't know if I had any Chicago teammates.
I can't think of anybody who's like that came from Chicago high school. Yeah, great. Like you said,
it's a tough place to recruit, though, Tito. It's a lot. That's Big West. That's Big Ten, Midwest country right there. There's a lot of people knocking on those Chicago 5-star doors.
The coaches, they were asked which out-of-state schools do the best job recruiting in Chicago. One coach said Wisconsin. Michigan State does well. Minnesota does well there. Iowa's been outstanding, this coach said. And he said Luke Fickell used to do it really well with Cincinnati. He picked up right where he left off there with Wisconsin now. No, Iowa. USC has been in there multiple times, according to one of the coaches. Now they're in the Big Ten, obviously. But they said the Dakotas do a good job, the South Dakota, North Dakota State, and all that.
Dakota grab some kids.
Yep, they do.
They can grab some kids.
But Ohio State was not really mentioned much in this, and that just surprised them. But they're talking about Marcus Freeman, some of the good things he's done with Notre Dame in that area. And when they asked about the programs that stand out, the one coach said Ohio State, Michigan obviously have come in and grabbed the top guys. And I don't think that's always an easy thing to do for those kinds of schools. But, Minnesota, Illinois do a lot in there. And the other thing I saw is what's the best recruiting head coach you've dealt with? And I thought we would see a Ryan Day mentioned there. But again, he doesn't hit that area very hard, so he wasn't mentioned at all in that answer. And then also what assistant coaches stand out for how they recruit. And then I thought, well, maybe we'll see a Buckeye in that one. Nothing there either as far as that. The one thing they did talk about, though, was the ways NIL has impacted high school football recruiting there. And one coach says the recruiting traffic compared to pre-NIL has drastically dropped. And he's leaning it more towards the portal, though. Because whereas coaches would come into the area and want to recruit for the season, 24 guys or whatever, now they're getting like 12 or 15 and portaling with the rest, and you get more kids that are not being recruited out of high school, which I think that's going to continue to grow. I think I'd much rather, as a coach, I'd rather have a kid that's already shown something at another school.
Yeah, man. I mean, college football has always been a place for, elite high school players. And I think just the process to become elite, Tito, it just has to happen at an earlier age. Unfortunately, it just gets more serious at the high school level. You've said it, that college becomes the minor leagues, and high school should be treated like college, and you just have to take that approach if you really want to do this with your life as a recruit. Yeah.
You can make a name for yourself. You may have to start off at a MAC school. No disrespect to the MAC, but I'm saying if you have Big Ten school aspirations, because of the transfer portal, there might be a spot for you at a Big Ten school that you want to go to. You may have to go and tear up the MAC.
Yeah, And the thing, I have a lot of my older teammates who now have sons who are getting recruited,
right?
And they played, and I think what you have to put yourself. When you're involving yourself as a parent in your kid's recruiting process, the idea about where I want to go and where I see myself versus where's the love and the opportunity.
Yeah.
And it might be at a North Dakota, South Dakota MAC, smaller Big Ten team where you can go and play and show your skills if it's about just playing and you love the game versus this is my dream school. I'm going to go sit. I'm going to get pushed to the back. I'm going to get recruited over. Portaled over.
Right, yeah.
And so that mindset of finding that coach relationship and, hey, you're a top recruiter on our board, that's important now. Like you can't come in with a mindset that I'm going to come in and I'm beating everybody out. That's hard. That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard.
And now with the SEC rule, that's the NCAA rule now that you can transfer unlimited times. Immediately eligible, can't play for two schools in the same season, but you can transfer anytime. And I was thinking about some of the guys that made huge impacts at smaller schools and what they would have done, how they would have done things differently. Now, the first guy I thought about was Randy Moss, because I know that he had the Notre Dame, the Florida State thing going on where he couldn't go there, and then he went to play for Marshall. And they were Division I AA, I think, before they went into the MAC, and then he dominated the MAC with Chad Pennington as his quarterback. I started to think, God, Randy Moss would have gone to some big school, he would have gone to a USC at the time or something, and been incredible.
That Florida State team was ridiculous. I think Peter Warwick and Quan Bolden was there around that time,
right?
Which is absolutely crazy. Camardi was a young guy.
Yeah,
that Florida State team was ridiculous.
the year Moss got drafted, I thought about this the other day too, is, all these teams pass on him until the Vikings took him like 21 or whatever.
Yeah.
If Dallas would have drafted him, they would have him and Irvin on the same team.
Wow.
Wouldn't that have been something else?
He wanted to go to Dallas.
I know, he really did. Yeah, he was pissed about it. Then he had that Thanksgiving game against him in his rookie, I think it might be his rookie year, where he caught 3 passes for like 151 yards and all 3 were touchdowns.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was something else.
Mama, I love you.
Right. But the fact that then I thought about someone like Marshall Faulk, who went to San Diego State, and what would he have gone somewhere else if he could have been eligible immediately at a different school, and how that might have changed there. But those are the 2 guys that jumped out to me as far as ones that, and even it talked about Moss, talked about Pennington too, Chad Pennington playing at Marshall too. Like those guys, if they would have gone elsewhere to hone their craft a little bit at a bigger school, what it would look like. But it's going to be interesting this upcoming season and what happens after the season again with the transfer portal and how many guys. It's just the numbers of guys are going to transfer is going to keep increasing every single year. And the roster turnover will be dramatic, not Colorado dramatic, but dramatic nonetheless. All right, coming up next is James Franklin of Penn State in a little bit of hot water. We'll talk about that. This is the Buckeye Show, 97.1 The Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
We go to war for you.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Scherger of Scherger Schnarr Trial Attorneys. When it comes to accidents and injuries, we're here to fight for you. Get a free consultation today and know your rights. Results matter to us because we go to war for your family. Call us now, 877-WAR-FOR-YOU, or visit warforyou.com. That's 877-WAR-FOR-YOU, or visit warforyou.com.
War for you, warforyou.com.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Let us explain. If you buy a diamond at Diamonds Direct today and decide in the future you want to upgrade to a larger diamond, Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. For example, let's say you bought her a $5,000 diamond last year, but now she wants to upgrade to a $6,000 diamond. Diamonds Direct will give you $5,500 toward the new one. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Whether that first diamond was $3,000 or $30,000, you get 10% more. Who else does this? And unlike other stores who claim to offer diamond upgrades, at Diamonds Direct, there's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Come and discover real value and buy with confidence. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
The Fan is your home for NBA playoff action. Catch every game of the conference finals and NBA finals on The Fan and ESPN Columbus. How does one listen to such magical things? On the Fan app, silly. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. Do it.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here from Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric. We save our customers tons of money and frustration by simply inspecting their sewer, water, and drain lines with our high-tech cameras before there's a problem. Check out Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric at carpentercolumbus.com.
It's lunchtime at Tim Hortons, and we're serving up a special deal just for you. Our new $5.99 lunch deal includes your choice of any lunch sandwich and a side of crunchy kettle chips. Because what's lunch without a little crunch? And the sandwich choice is all yours, like a ham and Swiss, Chipotle chicken wrap, BLT, and more. Made to order just the way you like it. Tim Hortons' new lunch deal. Simple, delicious, and just $5.99. Now that's a good deal. Only at your neighborhood Tim's. U.S. only. Price and participation vary. Terms apply.
Have you heard? There's always more at Speedway, like a Big Bite hot dog and Big Gulp drink for only $2.50. We've got what you're in the mood for, and now you can get more with less. Get your big meal deal for only $2.50 with Speedy Rewards. Valid through 1/7/25. Speedway has the right to end this promotion early, plus tax. Participating U.S. stores only. See app for full terms. All rights reserved.
Hello, I'm Gene Smith, Senior Vice President and Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletic Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donatos, Huntington, Kroger, the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in the great state of Ohio through our Buckeyes Care initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag Buckeyes Care.
Marathon has some great news about the number 5, so I'm going to say it 5 times in 5 different ways. Join Marathon Rewards and earn up to $5 in rewards on your first visit. Join and earn 5 cents in rewards for every gallon you buy. Join in as little as 5 seconds. Join to make 5 friends jealous. Join and get high fives. It's easy to sign up at the station or go to marathonrewards.com. By joining with your phone number, you are agreeing to receive recurring automated informational marketing SMS/MMS messages from Marathon. Consent not required for purchase. Messaging and data rates may apply.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource. Proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The home of Big Ten championships and future first rounders. You're listening to the Buckeye Show.
Buckeye Show. Tito, DeVier, Jacob, Nate with you. It's the rare 4-pack in the Buckeye Show going on here tonight.
This is
here till 8 o'clock, and then we get the Western Conference
the
finals.
Rare 4-pack. the guys you don't normally hear.
No, not a 2-pack. It's not a 3-pack. It's a 4-pack. The Fan's now on YouTube. Watch your favorite shows live. Check out the video on YouTube Shorts. How do you find us? Head to YouTube and search 97.1 The Fan. Don't forget to subscribe to The Fan's new YouTube channel. Check us out on there. I've been obsessed with that, looking at the shows and watching them. It's always great when Morning Juice has the football players in here. It's made me much more aware of the cameras and not doing things that would embarrass my family or myself.
Yeah.
You know, I make sure.
What were some of those things?
Well, I think there's been times when maybe if the co-host next week we're having a little fun, I might show a certain digit on one of my hands or something like that. You know, I might have done that. I'm avoiding doing that kind of stuff. I'm trying to look a little more professional.
He's wearing collared shirts. His wife
collared shirts. Yeah.
His wife accused him of having an affair because he's dressing nicer for the cameras.
And all she had to do was click on the YouTube thing and see that I'm right here. But she won't do that. So on Wednesday, a jury found in favor of a former Penn State athletics team doctor. He was suing the university. This went down in Harrisburg in Dauphin County. But he said he was fired for complaining about head football coach James Franklin interfering with medical treatment and return to play decisions. So he is saying that there were times when he would say, essentially, this guy's not ready or this is
hurt. Yeah.
And Franklin would ignore that.
Yeah.
Or Franklin would, and he complained about it and ended up getting fired for it. Dr. Scott Lynch got $5.25 million in punitive and compensatory damages. Former Penn State players, doctors, athletic trainers, university system officials, and others were testifying during the 7-day trial.
Mm-hmm.
So
this isn't Trump hush money. It's Franklin hush money.
It's $5.25 million to the doctor. And now the doctor, Scott Lynch, said that this is on ESPN.com. He said that he hopes the verdict will prompt investigation by the NCAA. NCAA has a policy guaranteeing independence of sports medicine staff. They've had that since 2016, where the medical staff is not under any kind of obligation to change anything or to bow down to the athletic coaches, specifically football coaches in this case. And Lynch said there's not been one school punished yet for violating medical autonomy lines. And he said this is bigger than just Penn State. It's really a national crisis and things have to change. And so I feel like this could be a really bad thing for James Franklin.
Oh, man, so much just comes to my mind on this topic, Tito. I think first, let's talk about how colleges don't have injury reports.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not public knowledge about what a kid is dealing with. And I think in the NFL, there is a fiducial responsibility to report these things or you will be fined.
Right.
And you have to know because of betting.
Sure, yeah.
that if your guy is going to be hurt. And I think with college sports, that has been protected. And this is the next front with college sports and taking it from amateurism to where it's going. That comes to mind on this subject because if you have public knowledge,
right,
there's more. Like Franklin can't do this. Like, because you would know that this kid is out of practice. Like, the media's not kicked out. You would know that he's showing up on the injury report Friday before.
Yeah.
But you don't know. So for them to sit out and get pushed into practice from a coach to go against doctors' recommendations, that's scary. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, Franklin really wants to beat Ohio State and Michigan. He don't even care if the kid is hurt. He's making a play.
Yeah. Shoot him up, right? Get that right butt cheek out, everybody. It's coming.
He's feeling the heat.
So it ended up, he was suing Penn State's Health's Milton S. Hershey Medical Center and Dr. Kevin Black, who was a supervisor who got rid of him. And his supervisor said they wanted a physician who lives in State College. Lynch was commuting 100 miles away from Hershey, Pennsylvania, is where his home was. He was going back and forth from there. But so Franklin and Penn State were referenced in the lawsuit, but they were dismissed as defendants due to the statute of limitations when all this went on. But to your point you said earlier about the injury reports.
Yeah.
And the SEC is in discussions about furnishing injury reports coming up.
Time.
It's going to have to happen, right? The gambling thing for sure, with all the money involved in that, and how much college sports are in conferences are in the media rights are in the media companies are in bed with gambling. They have to be transparent on this.
Yeah, something that has to change. I think, man, it just being in the media the past couple of years as a rookie myself, just understanding when I'm just talking about who's going to win and not having any visuals or any knowledge into who's going to play. Like I remember when Mayan just showed up out of pads or Emeka was out of pads. It's like, I don't know what's going on, and in my mind, I'm thinking this guy's going to come back. He's going to have a certain game.
Right.
Now, it's an added advantage for scouting purposes. I get that. But also what goes on behind those closed doors of someone not really having an agent in their corner, someone not really having a team, and it's really your first time dealing with injuries at this level. It's scary that someone you're trusting is telling you that you can play or you can't play.
Sure.
And if you do play, it's for the love of the university or your brothers, rather than like, hey, can this injury prevent me from healing and can it deter my pro career? And there's been plenty of guys that's gone through college football who are made to play and given surgeries, and they could never play in the professional level because of recommendations by team doctors. Now, I'm not throwing any team doctors under the bus. I just know there are those cases out there. And there are cases to where team doctors protect players like, hey, like this you're going to ruin your pro career if you play on this. And so I just think you take all of that out of it by just giving an injury report, right?
So I'm curious, how different was it for you from when you had injuries or nicks or whatever, things that came up in college? How different was the experience for you in dealing with the doctors and the team doctors and everything versus, I wondered the process, how different it was or if it was different at all in college and the pros?
I think in college, it's more about, and I really wasn't injured much during the season. It's so crazy. Like
I don't remember you being injured.
I was pretty healthy in college, but when I got to pros, I had a lot of injuries. And the thing about that is they make a financial investment into you.
Sure.
And so that it's in their best interest to make sure you're healthy, right? And it's in their best interest within your contract years to make sure they get the most out of you.
Sure.
And so when you have injuries in college and you go to the combine and you get to your team, a lot of the things that you go through are speaking about a preventative plan for your injuries or a preventative plan to what are common injuries in the pros. And so by coming up with a prehab and a rehab post-practice routine, the pros kind of teach you that. And then you see guys in the NBA getting those lists after practice. You see guys warming their body up with the bands or warming their glutes up. Like a lot of that stuff around the pros is because they got to protect their investment. Tito, if you have a house, you're going to know. If you're buying investment property, you're going to know when the house was built. You're going to know about the foundation. You're going to go from the top to the bottom, the basement to the roof. And so I think in the pros, it's that approach. Rather in college, it's like you heard Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
If you enter the portal, I'll go find another you.
Right.
That'll be bigger, faster, stronger. Right. Like it's that mentality in college too. So
yeah, it's I wonder if anything will come out of this. I wonder if Franklin will catch any hell for it. I wanted to ask now, of all the different healing mechanisms you've had, like access to at Ohio State and in the pros, all the different things that you've had that you don't currently have in your home. If I could put one of those things in your home, what would you want? Ooh. You got the hyperbolic chambers. You've got the other healing things. Obviously, cold bath, hot tub, all these different things you can do or have.
What could I have?
Yeah. What would you?
I wish I could have a 24/7 on-staff athletic trainer in my house. Just right. Stretch my ankles out. You meet me after bed, like, hey, come on, get on the table.
Right.
Stretch my ankles out, stretch my hips, stretch my hammies.
Right.
Give me a little nice, biofreeze massage on the legs before I come into the fan. Like, that's what I want. I want an on-staff athletic trainer for sure.
Are you going to need it after 18 holes of golf tomorrow? Are you going to need that trainer?
Oh, yeah. If we're not walking, those glutes are going to be not firing, and that back is going to be taking all of the heat.
All right, we'll follow this story, too. I am curious if anything happened with Penn State and with Franklin based on this and all the testimony they had. I'm not sure what all was revealed about how much Franklin knew or Franklin did, but I got to believe the NCAA is going to look into this because there's been so many lawsuits regarding universities and with some of the medical programs and things. This could just be another one that gets out of control. But coming up next, we'll wrap things up. We'll close things out with #Buckeyes. This is the Buckeye Show on 97.1 The Fan.
Whatever you're doing right now, just know that Bo Bishop is enjoying a sip of bourbon. Even if this promo is playing in the morning, no judgment.
Ah, sweet morning drinking.
The Fan.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Kroger always gives you savings and rewards on top of our lower-than-low prices. And when you download the Kroger app, you can enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. And with a Boost membership, you'll save even more with double fuel points and free delivery. So you can always save big every day with our savings and rewards. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Extreme Limo is proud to be Central Ohio's first choice for luxury transportation. Serving our community since 2006, Extreme Limo has a full range of luxury cars, limos, and party buses for every occasion. And now offering you the new officially licensed Ohio State bus. You can travel in scarlet and gray style to your next game, wedding, or special event. Celebrate life and stretch the limit. Call Extreme Limo at 614-483-3300 to book today or visit extremelimo.com. That's XTREME limo.com.
Hi, I'm Gene Smith, Senior Vice President and Director of Athletics. Ohio State Athletics and Cardinal Health know how important diversity, equity, and inclusion are to the success of our community, employees, and student athletes. And we believe an equitable culture creates a community that attracts and retains the very best. Visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Buckeye-inclusion to learn more and join us as we educate and celebrate the value of diversity and inclusion.
If you're obsessed with fantasy sports and gambling things, we have the slightly above average radio show for you. On the Money with Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas.
Presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
Sunday morning at 9 on The Fan.
Grab life by the chicken fingers and savor the day with hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret cane sauce that makes everything that much better.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
How can you reach your weight loss goals by the 4th? Simple. Make a Bacon 180 with Awaken 180. Bacon's on the table. Burgers, lobsters, you name it. Don't sacrifice the summer avoiding what you love. Make a Bacon 180 at awaken180weightloss.com.
I'm Tiffany, founder of Harlem Pilates. When I couldn't find Pilates in my neighborhood, I started a studio from my studio apartment. Chase Inc. helped me grow from 1 Pilates studio to 3. Because when you start small, you're going to need some big help.
With the Chase Ink Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank. N.A. member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Now at Menards, save big money on everything for your next painting project. Dutch Boys DuraClean is an exterior paint and primer in one that's available in thousands of color options. It's formulated to resist dirt, mildew, and fading. Save big on Dutch Boy paint when you shop at Menards. Visit us in-store or on menards.com to view our weekly flyer and check out all our great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Generation Radio, classic hits, original artists. Saturday, June 15th, the Columbus Commons. Join Jay DeMarcus of Rascal Flatts, Jason Shep of Chicago, and Steve Barone of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers as they bring you the biggest classic hits of all time. Live on stage, the hits of Rascal Flatts, Chicago, and Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers and more. Generation Radio with the Columbus Symphony. Tickets on sale now at C-Bus Arts Ticket Center or picnicwiththepops.com. Presented by Nationwide Picnic with the Pops.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by The Waterworks. Trust the pros at The Waterworks for all your plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling needs. Visit thewaterworks.com today to get started.
All right, #Buckeyes coming up here. Final segment of the program. After us, Dallas, Minnesota, Game 5. Former Buckeye Mike Conley looks to continue his season by another game as they take on the Mavericks. And I'm glad we're getting another game of this because the Boston sweep was too fast. This was almost a sweep also. I want to see a 7th game in this series.
Yeah, me too. Boston did it last year. You know, every game. They were really close. Jason Tatum twists his ankle.
Yep.
But I'm by all means rooting for Minnesota tonight. I want another game. What would it be? Saturday?
It'd probably be Saturday, yes.
Yeah, I love that.
If they lose, if Dallas wins, I think we got like 7 days. We got a whole week before they start the finals.
We got a glimpse at what it will be like until football. You know, just that week.
Right, you're right. Yes, that's what it'll be like. I know. And be watching old YouTube clips of football games at home. All right, my #Buckeye. This came out from the Ohio State men's tennis at Ohio State MTEN, and it says that Robert Cash and J.J. Tracy, Ohio State tennis players, have both received main draw wild cards to compete in the U.S. Open. #Go Bucks on that one. That's always great. We talked about it's just slurping all over Ohio State sports yesterday and how every sport they've got and how good they are in so many different areas. And this just is another testament to that. So congratulations to those guys, and we'll see how they do in the U.S. Open. What do you got for us there, DeVier?
Yeah, so CBS Sports has announced its 2024 college football multi-platform schedule windows for the games, Tito. So being broadcasted on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus includes its feature games for weeks 1 through 4. Kicking off CBS Sports Big Ten coverage is nobody but the Ohio State Buckeyes versus Akron. Obviously, we're going to get a lot of Beanie and Cardell, those guys working for CBS Sports, and that Big Ten team, LeVar Arrington and all those guys, get to see them cover more Big Ten this year as their packages increase. But, Tito, there's a lot of open spots. I'm going to name them off. You know, outside of Ohio State, Akron, you got USC at Michigan, September 21st. Excited for that one.
Yep.
You got open game, Big Ten game, September 28th. After that, October 5th, 12th, 19th, 26th, Big Ten game. 2nd, 9th of November, 16th, 23rd of November, 30th of November. All random Big Ten games. And my question to you, Tito, out of these, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 open spots. How many do the Buckeyes fill on CBS?
Well, you know, Fox, the way they do the drafting thing, Fox gets first selection a lot of the times. I'm not sure exactly how the formula works. I bet we see at least
11 spots.
11 spots.
And a lot of them are 12 and 3:30, if that helps.
I think we'll see Ohio State probably 5 times on there.
Whew.
I think
that's 5. A lot bigger than what I thought.
What were you going to say?
I thought just about 3, just because of the time spots. Like, 3:30.
Right.
And 12.
Yeah.
I love 3:30 games.
Oh, yeah, me too. 3:30 is a favorite time to have a game, I think.
Yeah.
ESPN announced that across all their platforms, that includes, all the streaming, ESPN2, ABC, all those things, out of all their platforms that they have, they're going to have nearly 1,000 college football games this season on the air. That blows my mind.
1,000 games?
1,000 games. Nearly 1,000 games are going to be broadcast on the ESPN platforms, which includes ABC, but yeah.
Man, you better get that fiber optics.
That's going to be, I know. They also announced that on the triple header on Black Friday is going to be Oklahoma State, Colorado at noon, Mississippi State, Ole Miss at 3:30, and Georgia Tech at Georgia at 7:30.
Yeah.
They announced the Red River rivalry game in Dallas between Texas and Oklahoma will be on October 12th. It's just going to be different this year, not tuning into as much ESPN and ABC because of the Big Ten being where it is now.
Absolutely.
It's going to be different this year with that. And also, obviously, NBC being involved in that as well, and how that's going to play out and see what that's going to look like.
Yeah, Tito, I have one more. Kevin Newman, he said, I know many Buckeye fans are not happy about the game we spoke about earlier, Western Michigan being a night game.
Yeah.
But are you going to watch? But you're going to be watching Texas versus Michigan at 12 o'clock anyway. How excited are you for one of those games?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be the best college football schedule that we've had in our lifetimes.
This year?
Yeah, this entire season right here with these games we're going to have, it's going to be the best slate of college football games we've ever had in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
It's the way they've got these conferences set up now. And by the way, on Sunday, we were talking to Bill Bender from Sporting News on our Fan Sports Sunday this week about something he put together where, like a super conference, what it would look like if they did it with college football.
Bill Bender did the work.
Bill Bender, I'm just going to say, Bill, tell me. And he's going to talk. And you and I can probably just put our feet back and just let him go.
I've been on him. So, Tito, I think what is going to make it the best season is the fact that you get – because I like bowl games. Bowl games are cool. But neutral sites, to me, I think will start to fade. Like, as fans, we want to see your favorite college go into a stadium they never played in before.
Sure, yeah.
Or a stadium they only played in once every 10 or 12 years, 15 years.
Yeah.
But to see a game like Texas in Michigan or to see USC in a random Big Ten stadium, that's I think that is what's going to make this a very cool experience moving forward with college football, because I would be all for playoff games to be played in random college stadiums.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like Ohio State can bid for a playoff spot.
Right.
Or Penn State can bid for, you could have LSU versus, Texas.
Right.
I'm sorry, LSU versus Utah at Penn State. Yeah. I would love to see that.
Well, I like the idea, DeVier, of every year with the NFL making 1 week all neutral site games in college stadiums.
That would be sweet.
A Browns-Bengals game at the Horseshoe. You know what I mean?
That would do
play
well.
A game in Alabama, play a game in down the swamp. Play games like that, and have a Philadelphia-Pittsburgh game in Happy Valley, whatever. But having things like that, just have a neutral site game like that to give fans that are not. If we're getting,
you're on to something right
If we're going overseas, like to give the international fans a chance, why can't we do that here? Why
Give
can't we do
somebody
it here?
in Baton Rouge an opportunity to see the Saints versus the Texans.
I'm telling you, man. You put either of the Ohio teams against Baltimore or Pittsburgh, whatever, in the Horseshoe, it sells out here. Columbus fans would go nuts over that.
Yeah. Oh, man.
It'd be insane.
You would see. I think that would be good, man. I think it would be figuring out the staff and obviously who's getting the check.
Right, yeah.
Who's getting the check. But NFL can afford it.
Yes, they can afford it.
They're going to Germany. They're going to
go all these other places. You're right. Yeah, they're going to all these other places and doing it. Yeah. So why can't you bring it to some of the local college, some of the college towns and college cities, and make a big deal? You can make a big celebration 1 week out of the year, like one Sunday.
Yeah, I'm all for it, and I'm with you on the notion of this being the most exciting college football season to date.
On top of that, because we're going to have, we get down to weeks 10 and 11, there are a lot more teams still alive for the playoff than there have been in years past, no matter what. You know what I mean? With going to the 12-teamer, it's going to have more meaningful games at the end of the season than we've ever had before, too. And that's what's going to be fun about it. I can't wait to see all that. But, yeah, this college football season, I've been looking forward to this ever since they announced the Pac-12 teams that were coming over. Just like you said, getting to see some of these schools come through that have not, that in different stadiums. I think Ohio State traveling to different stadiums haven't played in for years, or, it's haven't played in for, except for bowl games, some of the teams they played. It's going to be fun to watch all of that. So, all right, that's going to put a wrap on this show tonight, the Buckeye Show. Thank you everyone for listening, and check us out on YouTube. Thank you, DeVier, for all your hard work. And thank you to the boys over there, the other part of the 4-pack over there, Jacob and Nate. And coming up next, make sure you stick around. Western Conference Finals. Dallas leads the series 3-1. Mavericks, Timberwolves coming up next right here on 97.1 The Fan.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
It's lunchtime at Tim Hortons, and we're serving up a special deal just for you. Our new $5.99 lunch deal includes your choice of any lunch sandwich and a side of crunchy kettle chips. Because what's lunch without a little crunch? And the sandwich choice is all yours, like a ham and Swiss, Chipotle chicken wrap, BLT, and more. Made to order just the way you like it. Tim Hortons' new lunch deal. Simple, delicious, and just $5.99. Now that's a good deal. Only at your neighborhood Tim's. U.S. only. Price and participation vary. Terms apply.
New 2024. Up to 72 months Aria. Up to 36 months Rogue. And 6/3/24.
Reichert Nissan has an announcement to make. 0% financing is now available for up to 72 months. Take your Reichert Nissan Aria home today and pay 0% for 72 months. But that's not all. Reichert Nissan also has 0% financing on Rogue 2. Visit the Reichert Mega Mall off 270 and 33 or shop thousands of new and certified used at ReichertNissan.com.
Get the right car at Reichert.
We're dealing.
With approved credit. Residency restrictions apply. Offers cannot be combined. Dealer contribution affects consumer cost.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
Marathon has some great news about the number 5, so I'm going to say it 5 times in 5 different ways. Join Marathon Rewards and earn up to $5 in rewards on your first visit. Join and earn 5 cents in rewards for every gallon you buy. Join in as little as 5 seconds. Join to make 5 friends jealous. Join and get high fives. It's easy to sign up at the station or go to marathonrewards.com. By joining with your phone number, you are agreeing to receive recurring automated informational marketing SMS/MMS messages from Marathon. Consent not required for purchase. Messaging and data rates may apply.
Libman makes a difference. The Libman Mop Crew is a part of our winning team. The Libman Mop Crew makes sure the hardwood is safe and clean for the players every game at the Schottenstein Center. No matter what kind of flooring you have at your home court, Libman has the tools to keep it clean. Our mops, brooms, and brushes are proudly family made in the USA. Visit Libman.com to see our whole lineup and for a store locator. That's Libman.com. Libman, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Did the pandemic eliminate quality customer service? Well, many places it did, but not here at Heartland Bank. Imagine getting top quality service and good advice as well to help you down life's road. It's community banking, and it's alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb, CEO. Coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Fair banking feels good.